One day, in the mythical land of homeopathy, where I spend most of my time, I am constantly reminded that linear thought and analysis takes one just so far, but not far enough. For example, a woman I was treating for advanced asthma says, out of nowhere, "When I turn over in bed, I feel a hot poker in my low back. It's brief and I scream, 'Oh shoot!' It happens one after the other and stops. It's recurrent." What, you ask, does that particular, very peculiar sensation have to do with asthma? Obviously nothing, but you'd be wrong. It has everything to do with asthma, her asthma. But it really doesn't make sense to the rational, linear mind schooled in careful induction. And this is my point. Homeopathy sets out to be a very structured, reasonable system of medicine. We have our provings and we match our patient's symptoms to those proving symptoms. A matching game, very orderly. All homeopaths know that a patient with a high fever, red hot face, but with the hands and feet noticeably cooler, will do well with belladonna. For those symptoms match the proving symptoms of belladonna. And I quote from Materia Medica Pura by Hahnemann, quote, "Very red hot face with icy cold limbs," unquote. One gives belladonna and the fever subsides and the face returns to its normal temperature and color. Simple. But a hot poker in the back? We can say it is a sensation and we'd be correct. But then we all know that a sensation is notoriously difficult to convey using words in such a way that the listener, in this case the homeopath, can make use of. Another thing, how in the world did this woman manage to come out with this particular description of her pain? Very few people, maybe 1 in 10,000, 1 in a million, are going to describe a pain in those words. It's astounding and humbling, for it cracked open the case. Talk about, quote, "a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside of an enigma," quote, Churchill. But in this instance, it was the call to arms. Instantly, I recognized it as a characteristic symptom of alumina, which is oxide of aluminum. In fact, it appears in the proving of alumina in Hahnemann's chronic diseases. Quote, "Pain in the back, as if a red-hot iron was thrust through the lowest vertebrae," unquote. Again, you say, simple, it's right there in the proving, and you'd be right. But wait, that symptom is only one symptom out of a total of 1,161 symptoms listed for alumina. You can be sure of one thing, I have not, nor do I intend to, memorize all 1,161 symptoms. The truth is, I have no memory of how or why I knew that the red-hot poker sensation was characteristic of alumina. I do remember that I used the same symptom years back in two very different cases with curative results. But in those cases also, I don't know how I came to find the red-hot iron symptom. But as I said above, I dwell in the mythical land of homeopathy, where one gets drawn to pivotal information that serves as an entry point into the case. When one is drawn to something, it has nothing to do with linear, rational thought. It's as though the information, red hot poker, wants to be found. And I became the finder through no fault of my own, nor do I claim credit. However, once I had the red-hot iron symptom, I became a hound dog onto the scent and swiftly found 17 symptoms for alumina that I was able to repertorize, confirming alumina. And alumina is working. I bring the case not as a cured case of alumina, nor to showcase alumina, and certainly not to strut, but to wonder, are we homeopaths operating in a world of smoke and mirrors, an illusion? Or are we subconsciously managing to penetrate a veil that covers the gems we search for? Let's travel a long way back to the Oracle of Apollo, also known as the Delphic Oracle, 8th to 4th century BC. Apollo, for the ancient Greeks, was the chief god of healing. Let's imagine I'm there asking about my patient with asthma, and Apollo, known for speaking in riddles, simply says, "Red hot iron," and dismisses me. And I'm left to wait over 2,000 years for Samuel Hahnemann to come along and prove Alumina.